Hi guys, Tom here. I'm here to tell you some of the lessons within the lessons. Stay tuned. Keeps it going, keeps the wheels turning, and we really appreciate all the help and support out there. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So today I think we'll talk a little bit about the little secret lessons within the lessons, right? It's a little joke that we have around here is the little stuff that we may not see that we're practicing, we don't even realize it until we get to a certain competency. And then we realize that maybe I should have focused on something a little bit more before I got here. That's the beauty of this art of EI. Whether it's EI-Do or EI-Jitsu, usually you can set yourself up for failure by doing a wrong movement before you go on to the next movement. And that's also a lesson that translates out there in the real world. That's another reason why I love doing this, is it teaches us control and good preparation. So I like to talk about the left hand. The left hand is really, really important. I did another video on this before, and I'll probably do another one, because I get a lot of people asking about, if I'm left-handed, can I do this art? Absolutely. It might make it easier for you, believe it or not, than a right-hander. There's a concept called sayabinari or sayabiki, whichever word you want to use. That's the act of taking this saya, or the sheath, and pushing it back to release the sword quicker and more smoother. If you look at the length of a standard katana that's been measured to your body, this one for me, I get questions a lot. What size is your sword? My sword, folks, is 245 shaku, which is about a 29-inch blade. So what happens is, if the sword goes out, and I've only pushed the sword out this far, well, I've still got a fair amount of blade left here, okay? So if I try and rip that out, I could break the saya, and if this was a sharp sword, and this particular one is not, it's just an EI-To, it's going to rip right through the saya and cut my hand. How do I prevent that? By taking my left hand and pushing the saya back so it literally breaks free the sword. When I see that mistake done in a dojo, I smile. When I see new folks come in and they pull their sword out and the sword drops like this, that's a great mistake to make, because that means that they're performing this motion, sayabinari or sayabiki. Okay? So if you look at the set, the first set, I'm going to talk specifically about Aishin-Ryu now, and these are opinions of this dojo, by the way. If you look at the first few waza, like Mai, Migi, Hidari, Yoshiro, they're basically the same waza, it's just with the footwork's different, okay? And then you get on to a waza called Yaegaki, and I've done a video on Yaegaki before for a lesson in pressure. But Yaegaki also is probably the first lesson in this sayabiki movement, and I'll show you what I mean. And I'm going to do it standing just to prove a point that you can still do these standing if you're not able to go into seiza and still get the same lesson, okay? So if you look at Yaegaki, there's a cut, and then we come up and come down, and we do a big kiriroshi here, and then we put the sword away, and our foot comes back, and then we do a block, okay? Well, if you look at the motion of that block, the right hand's not doing much. It's a lot of left hand here, okay? My right hand doesn't move much at all. My left hand is actually pushing back the saya to do the block, because if you bring everything back, well, you're not going to be able to pull your sword out. So you have to leave the right hand where it is. Maybe push it out a little bit. There's your block, okay? A lot of left hand there. A lot of sayabiki, but it's done slow and methodically so you don't get hurt. And then you pause a little bit if you want, and then do your motion there. That's the fifth waza in the set. Then you look at the next one. It's called ukenagashi. And again, you could do this standing or seated. The first step is the sword comes out about halfway, and then the second step, the sword comes out almost 90%, and then you turn and do your technique. There's a lot of left hand going on there too. But it's the right hand that's giving you the distances between the left hand and the right hand, step by step, until it's at a safe spot. And then you look at others, like Skei Komi, right? Where you start out here, Then you push up and do a block and then go into a technique. Well, did you notice my left hand? It had a lot to do with that motion, right? And it's the first time, really, for beginners, that both hands are moving at the same time now. That's a huge lesson for Sayabiki or Sayabinari. Huge lesson. Because then when you get to the advanced techniques, you're going to have to do a lot more concentration on what you're doing with both hands. And the best way to start is with the Shoden level set, the Moiru. There's a lot of lessons in there like this one that'll help you on that journey. I hope this helps. Please check out our distance program if you're interested. Please check out the YMBK. The link is down below. We have dojos all over the world. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you soon.